Okay. I'm now pleased to welcome some amazing people who've been involved in camps over the years to tell us a bit about their experience. So let's welcome Graham, Lily, Alan, and Reese. Come on down. Okay, so Graham, I'm going to start with you if that's okay. So tell us a little bit about your story. You went on some of the very first swim camps. Tell us about your story and what did it lead on to for you?
Well, the first swim camp I went on, I hadn't actually heard of SWYM. I was just a young person from Exmouth, a lovely town on the south coast, if anyone knows it. And we were quite a proud bunch, so we thought we were just doing an Exmouth camp, really, and it turned out it was this bigger thing up at Burnham-on-Sea, and I came to faith there. I don't know if it was like the first day or something, but it was so powerful, so incredible. And the sense of community and the sense of intentional discipleship, I can even looking back now see that's what was the DNA of what was going on then, and it was awesome.
Brilliant. Alan, over to you. So Alan, you're a Plymouth lad. And you went on deeper weekends and various other things. You ended up becoming a swim trainee and being a leader at Live Football and things like that. How was your life changed through camps and events? And what came later in terms of leading?
Yeah, my life has definitely been transformed. God really used the camps in a tremendous way, really. I think before as a Christian, I sort of would go to the camps. It was just a way of kind of keeping me within the church, really, like, because it's something that I enjoyed and excited. But I wasn't really that a fan on Jesus necessarily at that point, you know. But when I became a Christian, like, the camps were just a great way to actually get to meet other leaders. I was always really fortunate to have really good swim leaders. But camps were just amazing opportunities to have loads of sessions where you'd actually find out more about Jesus. And I remember just being able to write down like all the things that I'd learned, and it was real precious time for me. And when I joined SWYM when I was 18 for 2 years, I think just Live Football was a particular camp that really excited me. I think, to be involved with that one, because I think sometimes when we think of Christian camps, we kind of think we've got the gospel, and the gospel is the most important thing, but the quality of the camps can be a bit like not so good. But I think what was really excited about SWYM was that they took it really seriously. We really wanted to show God's excellence, it was a really great opportunity. And to see kids come to faith, to see kids kind of recommit their lives to Jesus, and to have opportunities to kind of listen together to God, and also to kind of do impromptu Bible studies were really precious.
Brilliant. Yeah. Lily, I'm going to come to you next. So you were one of the first people to go on Rise Up, our kind of mentoring into leadership program, 8 years ago, wasn't it? Something like that.
8 years ago.
So what was it like for you, and what changed as a result?
For me, the year I had on Rise Up was the first time kind of in my whole life that someone had picked me out and intentionally wanted to invest in my life. And that was a massive thing, because where I was with my faith then was I was very young in my faith. not coming from a Christian background. And that year in Rise Up just kind of changed my life in the sense of it took my understanding of God, of the Bible, of my value so much higher than I could imagine. And that year, knowing that someone was there supporting me through that, helping me through that, the teaching I got, the prayer, it was just incredible. And then a few years later, I had the privilege of mentoring someone through it as well. And just the whole kind of setup just emphasized the importance of discipleship of others and equipping others into leadership.
Brilliant. Thank you, Lily. So, Reese, lastly, you've been on a few swim camps and events over the last few years. So tell us a bit of your story, Reese.
So the first swim camp I went to was Spree. And I went to the Deeper tent in Spree. And on the Saturday night, that is where I devoted my life to God. And that is when my real journey started with God. So then I went to a few more sprees and then decided to go to Live Football. And there I was taught to be a captain on and off the pitch, and that was really important to me, to show leadership skills. But then I went to Rise Up, which was really where I feel like I developed the most. Rise Up was a year-long leadership development program. And that's where I got my mentor. We would meet every fortnight for a week and go through the booklet. And that really just helped me show leadership more and more. And now I help out at my local youth group.
Brilliant. Graham, let me ask you one last question. So you came to Faith on a Camp years, well, I shouldn't age you, but years and years ago.
Yeah, I was 3.
And you then ended up being on staff for years. What for you, looking back over the years of your connection with SWYM in terms of camps and events, what stands out as being the highlight or the significance of them?
Oh, it's so hard to pin down one thing because everything from the culture of a swim camp, you know it when you're there, that it's a swim camp. Someone came in this evening and said, this looks too good this evening to be a swim event. I kind of get where they're saying from, but
Rude. Very rude. Yeah, very rude.
I won't say who said it, but I have repeated it. But you know SWYM when you see it. It's in the DNA, and it's in the intentionality of the relationships. And that blessed me, that drew me on, and that's what I want to be able to pass on to others as well. That's the DNA, I think, of SWYM.
Brilliant. Thank you. Let's give a big round of applause to these amazing people.
So, at the beginning of 2005, Colin Piper moved on, and a couple of months later, the board asked Paul to take over leading SWYM. The following 5 years saw a lot of change as SWYM developed values, sought to improve the ratio between staff and team, and to grow staff to build a solid foundation for the years to come. SWYM had been in partnership with Together in Mission, running an MA program. This came to an end, but the Bachelor of Theology came on board, and SWYM trainees could now get a degree. Yay! It's good for me. This time also saw the birth of Be Transformed, which is SWYM's first-year course. Let's have a look at some of the highlights.
The Southwest is a beautiful place, with thousands visiting the area every year.
However, there is still a great need for the gospel to be preached and the region to be transformed for God.
Here at Southwest Youth Ministries, we're a servant community committed to reaching the young people of the Southwest with the good news of Jesus and seeing them transformed into the fullness of Christ. Will you join us on our mission?
We need people like you to come and serve alongside us.
In schools, colleges and churches.
Working with a whole variety of young people.
Whilst in SWYM, you'll get great support and training, giving you everything you need to reach young people today with the gospel of Jesus.
So, I am pleased to say we have a couple of staff who were around at this transition point of SWYM. Kevin Stuckley and Lorna Savage. So let's give them a round of applause as they come up. So Lorna, I have a question for you first. You joined as a trainee and later went on to become an area coordinator for SWYM. What? Yes. Yes, she did. What was it like being a part of SWYM's journey at this point? How did things change in your view?
Well, I'm a classic SWYM case that I joined for a year. I'm still here. And I was dragged here by my sister, Joanna Friend. And I think I joined as a trainee and then moved to be area coordinator in 2005. And I think at that point, when any person or organisation or anything goes through a time of change or transition, it really kind of focuses in and hones you in on what you're actually about. And I think as I joined as area coordinator, I found a team that was trying to really hone down and focus in on what SWYM was called to do and only do that. And I think that was to focus on our character as people, that God was more interested in who we were, who we are, who we're becoming, and not just the trainees, but the staff team, the board, and the young people. And so us as SWYM wanted to be an organisation, a charity, a ministry that was growing in character and doing what God asked us to do so that we could better serve the young people that we were originally called to minister to. So it was kind of this transition of all this good stuff that God had called us to and had called SWYM to that I just came in and discovered, and then taking that forward to the future in a longer way, that we could see young people's character grow, see people discipled, that they're living the faith, living for Jesus longer term, and seeing more people come to Jesus.
Amazing. So, Kev, you joined the staff team over this time as well. Looking back for you, what were some of the highlights and God stories over this time?
Well, over this time, I think it was a real time of sort of ramping it up in excellence in what SWYM was doing, whilst really retaining and solidifying the SWYM values and vision. And so it was a real privilege to be a part of this time. And some of the highlights, it kind of was like all one big highlight. And as I come here today and see the videos and hear the people, it's just like, wow, what an amazing time it was. What a privilege it was to serve alongside the rest of the staff team. It was a real blessing to work with Paul and under Paul's leadership. Just such a special, special time. And just every individual meeting with a trainee, when I got to meet with a trainee to encourage and train and mentor and just listen to them and talk with them, it just was, each time it was a highlight. The staff meetings, staff retreats, it's just such an amazing staff team because of the heart and the vision of SWYM. It just was awesome and a real privilege.
Amazing. Thank you guys so much for sharing. Let's have a round of applause for them as they go. Paul.
It's so good to have so many great, amazing people in the room. We could have brought hundreds of different people up to the front. There's a room full of amazing people. So thank you for all that you have given to SWYM. Thank you for investing in young people's lives. We're going to take a moment now to thank God for all that he has done. So earlier this evening, Rose asked you to find your jigsaw piece, which hopefully you have on your table. Now, hopefully through the evening already, you might have been writing down some things on that jigsaw piece that you are thankful to God for, that he's done through the work of SWYM. If you haven't, you've got a few moments to do that in a second. But what you need to do is once you've had an opportunity to write on that jigsaw piece things you're thankful to God for, what we'd like you to do is on the back of your jigsaw piece, there is a number which corresponds with a number on this sheet down here. So when you have finished writing your thanks to God, why not read it out on your table so you can share thankfulness to God for what he has done? And then if one of you could come, and then we will make up the Southwest map with your jigsaw pieces. Does that make sense? You have 10 minutes to write, to share, and then to bring up your piece. Let's thank God now for all he has done.